What I want to do is carve an object from another or subtract an object from another. For that, we have to use a command called the Boolean operation. So let's say that I have a box and a sphere. Alright, and of course they should be touching, because if they were not touching, they cannot affect each other. They have to be touching. So now the sphere is overlapping with the box. As a general rule, I would select the object that will remain after the operation. So if I want to keep the box but carve from it the sphere, I start by selecting the box. If I want to take out the box from the sphere, then I start by selecting the sphere. You don't have to worry about it a lot though, because you can flip the operation easily later. So let's say I want to keep the box. I select the box and I go to compound objects. Compound objects, and Boolean is the command that I'm looking for. Boolean. I click on pick operand B, which is select the object that will affect the selection. Pick operand B, and I click on the sphere, and right away we have the carving happening. Now that I've done this, I change my mind and I want to place the sphere in the center, and I want the sphere to be bigger. Can I edit my Boolean operation? Yes, I can. How? I would go to modify, and if I go down to display update, which is down here, there is something called result, show the result plus the hidden operands. So it will show me the result, which is the carving, but it will show me a ghost or a wireframe of the sphere. So now if I find a way to move the sphere, I can change the whole operation. I can easily move the sphere by expanding Boolean and clicking on operands and selecting the sphere either from here or from there. So now when I move the sphere, the whole carving will change. So if I choose display result only, I'm moving the sphere, and at the same time the sphere is carving the box, which is a good thing. In case I can't visualize it like this, I choose show the result plus the hidden operands, and then I would see a wireframe of the sphere. That's not the only thing I can do. I can also select the sphere from the modifier stack. So this is called the modifier stack, which is a list of things that I've done to my object. So I had the sphere, and then on top of that I have the Boolean. So I can go back to the sphere level from down here and change the radius, for example, and the sphere will get bigger. So if I click back on operands, I can move the sphere with the new radius. So that's how I use Boolean operations. Next, I'm going to use this in animation so that I can animate, for example, a sphere that has a mouth, and the shape of the mouth will change using Booleans. So I'm going to do this now. First, I'll create a sphere. That's going to be, say, the head of a character. That's the head of the character. And I would like to rotate the head 90 degrees. Like this. It's not very necessary, but it makes more sense because these 2 points, this one and that one, would be the ear points, for example. It works anyway, but preferably like this. So whenever I'm creating a head, I do it like that. I can also do it like this. It works. I don't do it like that though. I take this orientation whenever I'm creating an eye, because the eye has the center like this. So from the left view, I can move it out. And if I press F4, if I color these polygons with a color and the rest give it another color, it would make sense, because the eye would then be able to look in different directions. Okay, for the head, I either go with this direction or with that one. Both would work. I will keep it vertical and create the eye later. So I want to create the mouth now, but it's a mouth that actually speaks, animates. For this, I'm going to create a line from the left view like this. I will move the line outside like this, and I will actually extrude it. So if I now see what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a copy or an instance of the line that is extruded. Why instance? Because if I go to line vertex and I move the vertex up here, the other one will also update. Could you see that? So if I change the position of one, the other one will update. I'll change its color. Alright, so I'm going to use this now in my Boolean. So I will select the sphere and go to compound objects and Boolean, pick operand B, and I click here. So now the sphere has a cut, which is the mouth. So if I took this, let's place it here, it doesn't really matter because it's shifted to the side. So we still have the opening here. But if we went to modify and vertex and selected this vertex and moved it and updated, we see that the opening of the mouth is going to get bigger. So if we went up like this, it will appear that it's actually trying to say something. So by animating the position of that vertex, I can make the character talk. It's one of the ways, of course. So if I press auto key and move the time slider and raise up this and move this down, I have actually animated the vertices. So then, let's say later, a few frames later, I'd go like that. So now it expands and retracts. And I keep doing that until it settles on a certain expression. So if I uncheck auto key now and I press play, I would see that the character will actually start to talk. And of course, I don't have to render this, so I can hide it. And I can not only hide it, I can select its keyframes and duplicate them. So I'll select them like this from down here, press shift and create copies. Alright, and also copy them. It's best to recreate them to create different expressions, but you get the idea. Okay, so now I can hide this. And let's create the sphere that will be the eye. So from here, I'll create a sphere. Note the X value, say -40. I'll press shift and move and set this to 40. So now they will be equidistant or symmetrically placed with respect to the head. Okay, I can link now the two spheres to the head. So select them and link. I remind you that in animation we never use grouping, we use linking. Now let's say that I wanted to create a material for the eyes properly. I would pay very close attention here. I would select the sphere and add a modifier called edit mesh and expand this and choose polygon. You see the polygons are these faces of the object. So I'll select them easier from here. Alright, so now that we have this selected, I will give them, let's say, black. I'll create a material called black and assign and set the diffuse color to black. I will also make it shiny. So far it's not shiny. So if I increase the specular level and the glossiness, it will be shiny. So the red part, which is the selected part, is now black, but what about the rest? It should be white. So I'll choose Edit and select Invert. I'll give it a new material, which I'll call it white, and set the color not to pure white, but to light gray. Now if I exit polygon, I see that I have the proper material assignment and see the shininess that I gave to the black part. Alright, let's do the same here. So these selected polygons, I want them to be white. I'll choose Edit, select Invert. So now I have this part, and I'll give it a black color. So now this character can actually talk and look in different directions at the same time.